Good morning, everybody. How is your morning starting with on a Monday morning? My morning is starting with a beautiful day with nice wind blowing. Supposedly here in Winston-Salem, the forecast says that the winds are going to go up to 50 miles per hour, which means I better hold on to my gear back here or the tree. Well, you shouldn't be holding on to the tree because the moisture is pretty much, we've had a lot of rain here, and the tree might be coming down at any moment. So just you guys will have to help me make sure that the tree's not coming down from behind me. But how's everything going this morning? This session, the agenda, the way how I want to give out the information, feel free to ask questions as you're watching. And I might be coming in front to check the screen to make sure if you have had any questions or anything like that, and answer those as on live. But there are basically three parts I want to address, and then I'm going to go through some specific equipment. You'll see the equipment in the background. I've got my lawnmower out. I love doing the yard work. I even had the gloves out so I could actually do it, but I'll show you as we get through. But we've got the lawnmower out. I'm going to show you some moves with the shovel, the raker. I've got my back brace out because I want to talk about that a little bit. We've got our chair out. We've got a little trimmer out there, and then we've got a little digger. So we've got all the equipment. I wanted to just kind of go over all of those things. This is going to be about 20 to 30 minutes long. Feel free to take notes as you are going through this, because it's very important for me that you get the details that as I'm talking about it, because a lot of things comes to my mind as I am discussing about a few of the things that are necessary and important based on the movements that we're doing. And I want you to get the full value out of this event. It's a virtual event. This is our one of the kind of virtual event. We would do this, something like this in a community center or a library. We've done a lot of workshops over the past year and a half. And I wanted to still continue to bring value for all of the people that are out there doing the gardening, doing the yard work, especially in these unusual times. We're out and we are about, but what if you're still, going through some experiences of back pain? And what if you don't have back pain and you want to protect your back and not end up in one? So the three parts, the agenda, the way how I want to go through the three parts to the workshop. First is I'm going to touching on if you currently have the back pain, what you should do.
Come and check.
Hold on just a second. Let me see if the camera is rolling the way we want. Oh, hey, Regina. Good morning. You watching? Okay. Yeah, maybe I should tilt down a little for... Thank you. Thank you, my cameraman, my Farheen. My wife, she's making sure that all the little hiccups stay in place. All right, so the three parts to the workshop. One is if you already have pain and you want to still go out in the yard and get it done. If you're like me and that you can't resist to see your yard getting spoiled. The tree limbs coming down and the leaves coming down, and you want to really go out there. But what if you've got some back pain going on? The second part is, well, you don't really have back pain right now, but after you do the yard work, then you end up in back pain. Well, what should you do in that case? And then the third part is, well, you don't have back pain either way, and you want to make sure you protect it and don't let it come to you, so you don't have to worry about seeing any practitioner, and keep you safe and keep healthy, and just can get strong from a distance like this is. So the first part is about the back pain when you already have it and you still want to do the yard work. Well, first thing, if you have pain right now, you want to make sure that you address it itself. You want to find the cause. If you know the cause, then you want to address the pain. Pain is a symptom. The symptom can happen because of multiple reasons. It may be a disc pain, it may be a nerve pain, it may be a muscle strain pain, or it may be an injury that you've experienced in the past that's been going on for a long time, and it just gives you the tightness and discomfort. So in cases when you have the pain, you want to address the pain, one thing. And the way you address it is you are doing your pain management. The pain management come in multiple ways. So you can do the heating pad, you can do the ice pack, you can take over-the-counter medications, take your prescription medications. Those are all, applying the ointment, like cream, ointments, biofreeze, all of those are great ways to calm the pain down that you're currently experiencing. On top of that, you also want to make sure that you're using some form of support. So I've got an example of a back support. This is the area that covers your pelvis. This is like your lumbar spine. And you've got, some gust of wind right there in the background. All right. So this is the two-strap pad of the back brace. And basically the way you wear it is you put it on the back like that. You put it on the inside half. These are really good, by the way, for any kind of supporting system if you're getting ready to do something heavy or that you actually are experiencing any back pain and kind of keeping it in check. So that's the first half, and then the other half is the reinforcement straps. This adds more value to strengthening your back. So you get the reinforcement strap, and then you place it on and you're ready to go. So making sure the back is fully protected. So you've already done the heating pad, ice pack, taken your meds, applied the ointment, did some kinesia tape on the back, and added this pad. This will give you a good solid start to make sure that you're not really going to make it worse or damage it past what you already have. Highly recommended if you are currently in pain and can't afford to go out and see a therapist or have a therapist come to you, which is what we do. We are mobile physical therapists, and we're the frontline medical professionals right now that we are serving the people through in-home or telehealth. So we can stream in through a video call like this and examine you still, provide a lot of value and examine you and make sure that why you're experiencing the pain and what can be the cause. But this is how you start your journey with your going into doing the yard work. So you've got the back brace on and then you're moving on. The next phase is, let's say you are doing the yard work and you have the back pain and you already have the brace on. I'm going to go through some of the specific details with each and every equipment later on. But let's talk about the scenario number 2. The scenario 2 is you have back pain after you do the yard work. So you don't really have the pain when you go out, or you don't have the pain to start with. But then after you've done certain activities, spend that hour, 2 hour in the yard, and then you end up in the back pain. What should you do in that case? Well, in those scenarios, again, you know that there is something going on during the yard work that you're doing that results in the back pain. It could be a particular position. It could be an equipment that you're using. It could be the way you're pushing the lawnmower. It could be the way you're using the raker. If you're, I'll go into the specifics a little bit later. But you're using all these equipments in a different way than optimal, then you might be experiencing the back pain. So recommendation in those scenarios, again, you would want to have the back brace in that case because you know that you will be ending up in back pain. So adding some support doesn't hurt. Back brace does have some side effects. The side effects are, well, it supports the back, so it basically replaces the action of the muscles, which also means that it will potentially decrease the strength of the muscles. Well, if you're resting and you're not doing really anything and then putting the back brace on, well, that's
why didn't we touch that?
When you would, and that's my son, you're hearing him in the background. He loves to do the yard work with me, and so all of this greenery that you see in the background is a result of his hard work over here. He's only 3, by the way, and he's home. We're homeschooling him. So if you are experiencing the back pain, you do want to have the back brace on. You want to support it, and then you want to look at the technique of the equipment that you're using and how. You want to look at the time. Are you taking enough breaks in the middle, or Are you holding one particular position or movement for a length of time that results in having some discomfort? If you're digging a certain way, got a shovel, so those are the reasons. And the third is the primary meat and potatoes for the workshop today is how can you protect your back from having back pain if you're not experiencing one today. Well, I want to go through certain stretches. There are going to be 4 to 5 stretches that I want to go through. That way you can do them beforehand. Then we're going to go through the actual CDs of, here comes the wind again, the actual CDs of the equipment. And then the third part is what do you do after the yard work. That way you don't end up in back pain like how you would be in the scenario number 3. So we're now moved on to the scenario number 3. How can you protect it? Well, the one thing that I'm going to highly recommend is you got to warm up. You got to warm up no matter what. Okay. Well, before I go into the actual meat and potatoes, I should check the screen and make sure if you guys are watching, you're on board, you're not asleep. I got to knock on the screen for you. Hopefully you're taking notes. So let me come on over this way. Let's see who's on. Hey, Regina. Hey, Lisa. All right. There's 7 people watching over here. Okay. I can't see who all are watching. Well, give a little thumbs up or make sense or something as a comment to make sure that I know that you guys are getting what I'm talking about. Hey, Angela, what's up? Nice. Okay, so you guys have been attentive. I'm not boring you really much. Well, you're in the nature's classroom right now, and there's nothing like nature's classroom and the nature's boredom over here. Awesome. All right, moving on into the third part is how to protect your back before you wreck it, and you don't want to wreck it. So you start with some certain stretches. Warming up is a great idea. There are a few ways that you can warm up. You can just take a short 10-minute walk, make sure things are warmed up. Or you can go through these 5 stretches that I'm about to show you. And the primary areas that you want to really target with the stretches are your hips, your back, your trunk, your calves, your quads. Okay? So let's start with the first one. We're gonna do the simple stretch to start with. We're gonna just do the front of the thigh stretch. Grab onto something, that way you're not losing balance. You're in the yard, you could have anything going on, so just grab the leg and you stretch. And I don't know if you guys can see me, but I should come here. Alright, and just grab the leg and you make sure that you're staying upright. You've got a nice upright trunk. I'm going to show you both ways, front way, sideways. And try to get your heel to butt off.
Here comes the sun again.
Good stretch right here on the quads. Make sure the alignment is good. You hold this position for about 10 seconds. You do that 4 or 5 reps, both sides. Make sure all of your front of the thighs, these are all loose. You will need them when you're squatting, when you're shoveling, when you're lawn mowing. Okay, so that's the front of the thigh quads. That's the first one. Second, we have the back and the hamstring and the hips. The way you can do that is you can grab onto, again, a certain sturdy surface. I'm going to grab on my chair from there. So hold on, don't go anywhere. Don't cheat between the notes. How's that chair frame? Do you think is it still visible?
Yeah.
Okay, so the next one is the hamstring stretch. You're holding onto the back of the chair and you're bowing and trying to get a nice lower back. You're getting a nice lower back stretch, back hamstring stretch, glute stretch, mid back stretch, arm stretch. There's a combination of stretches going on over here. Okay. Get that nice and loose. You do that again for 5 repetitions. And you do that about 10 or 15 seconds each hold. Okay. So you've got the front, you've got the hamstrings, you've got the lower back. Now we want to do the rotation because you will be doing a lot of rotation with this nice little rake right here. So grab a chair. Chair is good. Chair's always good. So have a chair with you and a stool. That's also very good. Okay. So visible. Okay, so there. And then we're going to do like a rotation, so we'll hug the chair. You may have seen this stretch on the video that we did on Friday with Dr. Jade Bowser, referring to if you've been having zoomies from being on Zoom 27 hours a day, you should be doing this stretch also. So there's an overlap here. So a trunk rotation. Angela, I know Angela, you're watching. You got to be doing this stretch too. I know that's part of your homework. I know that. I hope you've done your stretches. Alright, so that's a nice stretch, both sides. Do that a few more. Okay, both sides. Okay, so that's the rotation piece. We've got three of them in. Now we want to stretch the deeper parts of the hip. You might be on the again on your knees. Have your knee pads if you're planning to be on the knees in the yard. Have your knee pads on. You're going to be in a kneeling position or whatnot. For that, you want to make sure the hip flexors are stretched out. So in that case, just come into a lunge step position. Keep your back heel down, and then upright position there. Maybe hold on to something. You can do the side knee just for balance. I'm just kind of lunging in, making sure that the front of the thigh stays nice and stretched. Holding that position, I'm feeling here, feeling in my back calf. I'll need to be a little more upright here. And then you switch it out. Okay. Just nice and stretched out. That's a good one to stretch in the mornings also. Especially also after a sitting break. It's a great one for releasing all of your tightness that you might be building up in your groin. It helps you keep your hips loose, helps you have longer, your own hips without having to worry about any hip replacement. So, and if you already have one, that's okay. You can stretch it out too. Keep yourself from having another one. All right. Okay, that's good. I need a little more stretch on my right side. Another rep here. Okay. And then the last but not the least, we've got the groin, the inside half of the groin, because that has a tendency to be tight. So you could be in a wide leg position, just kind of lunge one way. You'll feel the stretch in the inside half here, and then the stretch on the other side, inside half. Okay, so these are the 5 quick stretches. Didn't even take more than 5 minutes. I'm ready to go, ready to work in the yard, okay? So these are the stretches that you do beforehand. The next part is let's do the actual movements of different objects and tools. I see my set of gloves over there sitting on the little swing set that we have. I'll be right back. And check who's watching by the time. Hey Angela, here's Lisa. All right, yep. Have Rob take a look at this. I know he will enjoy it. Cool. All right, got the gloves. All right, let's go through each and every equipment with the posture and the positioning. Okay, we'll start with. We'll start with the rake. So I've got the rake right here. Okay. So, obviously with the rake, there are multiple ways you can do it, but the more traditional way is you're basically like trying to rake these little twigs out from the yard, or like these little leaves that are going to be falling. I might be working on this evening or something like that. But you basically are twisting your trunk and rotating. So you don't want your legs to get planted, because if your legs are planted, all of the rotation will come from the lower back. Keep your feet free and loose. The way you will do it is you sort of go for like almost like a, hitting a bat. I mean, using the razor as a cricket bat. I play cricket a lot. It could be translated into even a tennis forehand, or a golf swing, or a baseball hand. But basically, you're going for the rake like this, making sure the legs are straight. Swivel into the back. There's an experience in the background. It's alright. Okay. So that part, that was good. Okay. And then the next is keeping your core tight. So tuck the tummy. Okay. Suck the belly in. And then you're rotating. And if you're experiencing pain in this, you better put on the back brace. I'll put it right on that chair. Put on the back brace. So this is how you do it for the rake. And recommendation, just change it every 10 or 15 strokes. You change it to the other side. Same thing. Keep that back foot free. Keep the tummy tucked. And, you know, do it in intervals. If you end up in back pain at the end, you just do it like 5 minutes. Break it. Go do some digging. 5 minutes. Go do some mowing. 5 minutes. Come to raking. And just extend it maybe 10 minutes each, then 15 minutes each, 20 minutes each. And the rotation of activities will help. That's the first part. The second part is the shovel itself. I'm not going to dig straight in, but what if I chose to have a set of shrubs over here? You basically hold it like that, and then use your body weight into it as you press into for like digging purpose. So that's another way. And then when you're trying to like take the mulch and distribute the mulch onto your little bed area, then you are making sure you kind of stay in that lunge position, lunging in, grabbing the shovel, giving a stroke, and emptying or whatever from a wheelbarrow or whatever you're doing. Same thing. Keep switching sides about every 5 to 10 strokes. Don't overdo it. Make sure you've got the cord tucked in and that there's no pain with any of those activities. Alright, we've got the two major things done. We've got the lawnmower. Okay, we're doing pretty good on our time, so we've got the lawnmower here. Okay, for lawnmower, when you're loading it up, you know, the ones that you're actually turning it on, you want to have, I should probably turn this around so you know what position to take in. So you want to have a nice step stance before you row it, okay? So this is my holding position. I want to really tighten my core, grab this hand onto the left handle, that way I can give a swivel like this, keeping the core tight and using my legs a lot. So I've got the legs bent. This is the most often the not then the people either injure it or hurt it or start experiencing the back pain. So, you know, I'm going to just go ahead and crank it up. It's ready to go. So you give a nice swivel, but you've got to have a nice strong core before you do it. And then when you're pushing it, so for the pushing part, you want to make sure you keep your chest upright. You're sort of leaning in a little bit, not a whole lot. And then use your calves, use your legs, use your core as you push. And not that you're, you know, kind of bow. And if you start to feel tired, again, remember that 10-minute rule maybe. That, you know, you've done the activity 10 minutes. It's time to move on to the next task. Decide to plan it out. Go out and, okay, decide, okay, I want to clean up my little figure of 8 in the middle. And then I'm going to do some more mowing and plant a shrub or something like that. So I have a set of activities going on. All right, and then we've got how would you, if you do the digging, and how, if you would you do the trimming? So two more things. So let me see how things are over here. Okay, cool. All right, so coming close. Right here. Okay, so if you're digging, All right, so it doesn't hurt to have a stool, okay? So I would highly recommend you having this stool if you're going to be, spending some time like pulling the weeds or taking out some grass. And I've got I need to shape this guy, so I'm going to go ahead and take the grass out from the yard right here, make it look more pretty. Make my neighbors a little bit more jealous. Well, I might be reaching too far, so I better get a little bit closer. Right here. Okay, so that's pulling the weed, and then same thing with if I'm digging something. You saw how I bent. You want to have the lunge step. You're bowing. You don't want to just go boom, pick it up. That's when people hurt themselves too. Again, step stands. Just remember, anything, step stands. I'm going down, step stands. All right, same thing over here. Chair, tool, take it out. Track seems to come pretty wild over here. All right, okay, cool. That part, and then maybe a little bit of a bush trimming. Let me grab that little pair of scissors. Okay, sure you can see the grass in the corner. I'm just going to show you around the grass, but you could, this obviously for the truck. So you kind of bow in if you have to be low, bow in, step stance, and just kind of give it a shake. I'm just going to get like that. And kind of keep switching legs, activity-wise. There you go. Get some difference. Okay, I'm going to probably turn this over to the bush over here and be able to see it better and know what to do. This guy. All right, see if I can give it a nice shape. Working. Keep your core strong. Keep your step stance. Use the surfaces around. If you got a little area, step up on it. Okay. Then keep moving. If you end up having a little bit of back pain, you just move on to the next task, okay? All right. Let me check if there are any questions. Okay, any questions, guys? Lisa, Angela. Okay, very good. All right, if you don't have any questions or concerns, we can wrap up right here. That's our very first workshop with gardening and equipment. And the way how we, the other part that I wanted to point out was the way how we approach someone if they come to us with back pain and wanted to go through the gardening. Well, highly recommend that you want to go through an exam with a movement therapist. If you're going to the doctor with your back pain about topic like, if you want to get back to activities like gardening or the bicycling or yard work or whatever, you want to go through a movement exam. And what we would do in a movement exam is we'll look at each and every joints of the body around your areas that are involved because of back pain, like the hip, the knees, the ankles, the back, mid-back, shoulders, all of those. Put all of those numbers together, testing the range of motion, strength. Have you do some movements like the squat movements, the lunge movements. Make sure how those movements are coming along, and we'll decide a plan for you and give you the right advice on how long it will take for you to be able to get back to activities that you want to enjoy. And our bodies are designed to move, and if you haven't been able to do certain activity because of the back pain and the doctor have told you that you shouldn't do that activity anymore, well, I would like to disagree on that, and I would like to examine that and make sure that you don't have any areas that the doctor may have missed, because quite often when you're going in an exam, it's a very passive exam. You talk and you come up with a hypothesis and you get pain medications, and then you're advised to rest. However, I want you to be able to get a movement exam, which is done by a professional, a physical therapist, and you go through what areas are hurting, what movements are bothering, and target those areas and target those movements, and bring that movement back. I have patients, 90-year-old, 95-year-old, doing gardening and yard work and pumping that lawnmower and without pain. So, your bodies are capable of doing all of that those activities, and you shouldn't just start believing that this is how my life is going to be forever. With that said, we have an offer for all the viewers or the commenters or whoever who watches this video by the end of this week. So today's the 13th. So before Saturday, if you're gonna comment free gardening, pain-free gardening, then we are offering a telehealth session, which we would otherwise charge $175 per visit. We're offering that at $99 a visit. Through an evaluation, we'll be able to decide and define a plan for you, and we'll be able to design the care plan and find out how long it would probably take for you to get back to doing those activities pain-free. So comment pain-free gardening if you want to take the advantage of that offer. Share that with your friends and family. We can zoom in through a video call. We don't necessarily have to go see them, or they have to come see us. We could do a video call, do the movement exam through the video call, and we'll be able to help you guys. So comment pain-free gardening when you are if you want that offer. Also, if you're watching this on replay, comment replay. And it's been a pleasure serving you guys, and we'll be back in about 2 or 3 more weeks regarding another series of Protect Your Back Before You Wreck Your Back. We will be live again later this week for a telehealth session, which is the Zoom video call that I'm actually talking about, to give you a tutorial on how it would look like for a telehealth session on video. All right, guys, signing off, Dr. Sarva Patan from Personalized Physical Therapy and Wellness. Thanks for watching.